Alright, let us create our first controller. This is where the magic happens in ASP.NET Core. In Visual Studio, navigate to the Controllers folder in the Solution Explorer. Right-click on the Controllers folder, go to Add and then select Controller. A dialog box will appear. Choose the ASP.NET Core empty template. This will create a basic controller class without any predefined actions. Finally, name your controller Home Controller. It is a convention to append controller to the name of your controller class. Visual Studio will automatically create a file named homecontroller.cs in the controllers folder. Now that we have our home controller, let us add an action method. Action methods are the individual functions within a controller that handle specific requests. Inside the home controller class, add the following code: public iActionResultIndex of return view. Let us break this down. Public iActionResultIndex defines a public method named index that returns an iAction result. iAction result is an interface that represents the result of an action method. Return view tells the controller to render a view. By default, it will look for a view with the same name as the action method, in this case index, in the views/home folder. We have our controller and action method, but we still need a view to display something to the user. Let us create a view for our index action. In Visual Studio, right-click inside the index action method or on the index action method name and select Add View. A dialog box will appear. Choose the Razor View empty template. This will create a basic Razor view without any predefined content. Visual Studio will automatically create a folder named Home inside the Views folder if it doesn't exist, and create a file named index.cshtml inside the Views/home folder. This is the default location that ASP.NET Core expects to find the view for the index action in the home controller. Inside the index.cshtml file, add some basic HTML like h1 hello from your first ASP.NET Core page. It is time to see our creation in action. Run your ASP.NET Core application by pressing F5 or using .NET Run. Open your web browser and navigate to the URL/home/index. This tells ASP.NET Core to execute the index action method in the home controller. If everything is set up correctly, you should see the hello from your first ASP.NET Core page. Message displayed in your browser. Congratulations, you have successfully created your first ASP.NET Core controller and view. If you encounter any errors, double check your code and make sure you have followed all the steps correctly. Now that we have a basic controller and view working, let us experiment with modifying the view. Open the index.cshtml file and try adding some more HTML elements, CS styling, or even some C# code using Razor syntax. For example, you can add a heading, a paragraph, or an image. You can also use CSS to style the elements and make them look more appealing. Razor syntax allows you to embed C# code directly into your HTML. This is useful for displaying dynamic data or performing calculations in your view. After making your changes, save the index.cshtml file and refresh your browser. You should see the changes reflected in the browser. In this video, we have successfully created our first ASP.NET Core controller and view. We have learned how to add a controller, add an action method, create a view, and test the controller and view in the browser. This is just the beginning. There is a lot more to learn about ASP.NET Core, but you have now taken a crucial first step. Continue experimenting and building more controllers and views. The possibilities are endless.